about to go on vacation for 6 days, and I want to show what the garden looks like right now, today, June 27th. And we are going to do a comparison as soon as I get back on July 3rd. All right, it's been a week since I've been outside. Have not seen the garden literally in 7 days. And it hasn't really been watered in 7 days. So you and I are about to see it together. Okay. Well, that does not look good. And of course, the neighbor's dog is out. I'm not doing a garden tour tonight. We're going to do a garden tour in the morning. But I'm already seeing a whole lot of stuff that has to be addressed. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, it's all good. I'm not doing a garden tour tonight. We will do it tomorrow, but I'm going to water tonight. So we will pick back up tomorrow morning and do a full-on July 4th garden tour. It's the next morning. It's beautiful right now. Today is July 4th, so happy 4th of July to everyone out there. Be safe, have fun. Remember those overseas defending our freedoms here in this country who are away from their loved ones. They're always on my mind, always. So having said that, let's get into this garden tour. Now, last night I did water the garden. I had to. It had been 8 days since most of these plants had any water at all. As y'all know, Darren and I were in Southern California. If you watched the video of me being over at Brian's house, Brian from Next Level Gardening / Little Homestead Big Dreams, we're back, obviously, and I'm glad to be home. I'm not glad for this heat, though, let's be real. But right now it's nice, so we're going to do this garden tour. But like I was saying, I did water last night because everything needed it badly. And already just stepping a foot off the patio, I can already see a difference in a lot of the plants. But a lot of stuff is dead, and that's fine. Or dying, and they need to be changed out. So I've got my work cut out for me here in the next few days. But let's do this garden tour. Okay, y'all know I like to start over here on the garden tour. So let's start right here with these watermelons that I planted just a couple weeks ago, and they are starting to vine and do really well. I'll put the name of these watermelons up right here. Doing really good. These are a different type of watermelon, also doing very well. Y'all can never see that enough. I love swallowtail butterfly caterpillars. They are just so pretty. Peppers. They're doing okay. These up here are dead. At least one of those jalapeno plants are dead. Asparagus is really doing good still. We got okra right here. Sweet potatoes doing fantastic. Honestly, the sweet potatoes are about ready to they'll be ready to harvest in 2 months. I believe 2 months. So they're doing good. Definitely happy with how that all looks. Now this over here, look at the top of these plants. Notice anything different? How they've all been cut? Do y'all ever have a neighbor who's just a complete word that I won't say? Who just kills everything for no reason? Yes, these beans were growing over the fence. Beans. These are asparagus beans. Growing over the fence. Instead of coming and talking to me like he used to, he just cuts everything and destroys everything. He killed a plant of mine that I had for 6 years. And now look what he's done to these asparagus beans. I mean, look at the top compared to how these looked not a week ago. I am so annoyed. Not gonna lie. Very, very, very annoyed. Very annoyed. But the beans are doing good. I've left a lot of these on here to dry the natural way. So I'll be able to just harvest those beans and save them for the next go around. But I'm gonna digress and we're gonna continue moving on because this whole situation right here just really irritates me. Now, one thing I just did notice, pests, y'all. Those right there are leaf-footed bugs, and they're mating. Now you can see right there on the back end of that leg how it looks like a leaf. That's how you know they're leaf-footed bugs. And even though they're just sitting there mating, when they are attacking a plant, they are sucking the juice out of those plants. And they are a 100% pest. So when you see them, you just got to kill them in any way that you feel comfortable doing. Okay, we're going to swing on down and start going down this way right here. The sunflowers are doing good. They have leaned over quite a bit, and they might be kind of done toward the end of their life. Oh, more leaf-footed bugs right there. Y'all, I am inundated with these things. They are everywhere. Let me pause this for another pest control break. Okay, pests have been dealt with. Beans are doing good, and then I've got all these okras growing all through here. If y'all remember, I think there's 4 different types of okra right through here. All the plants are looking really well. One thing I find amazing about okra, and nature is just so amazing to me, is you can tell what color the okra is going to be by, for the most part, by the stems of the okra plant. Let me explain. Right there will be a green okra. See the stems? They're green. These right here are an Alabama red okra. See the stems? And these are an orange jing. Slightly different than those, but still not green. Totally tell the difference in the okras just by the stems. I think that's amazing. These tomatillo plants, y'all, are out of control. Not upset about it, but Lord, they are doing really well. That right there is what you do not want to see, ever. Notice how they're all grouped together? These are leaf-footed bug babies. When you see them all together, you know that's what they are. If they were isolated and off by themselves, then it'd probably be an assassin bug baby. But since they're all together, those are definitely leaf-footed bug babies. And when you see this level of pest, you gotta take them out. So those are the babies. See how they don't like being bothered. See that? They're all moving around now. Of that punk right there. I feel like I'm gonna be pausing this video a lot to deal with a lot of pests. So I'll be right back. Okay, now one insect that you really want to see in the garden, and a lot of people say, well, if you see these, that means you have an aphid problem. No, it just means you have these in your garden. Now, if you see them on a plant that's infested with aphids, different story. But right now, these tomatillo plants don't have any aphids on it. But I do have a friend just hanging out. Never gets old. Well, if I can focus here. Never gets old seeing ladybugs in the garden. Ever, ever. Love it. We have these Japanese 2-foot-long carrots growing back in here. It looks like they've all done very well. In fact, I have to do some research and see when those things are due to be harvested, because I think that's coming up very soon, to be totally honest. Now, this section makes me happy. Check this out. These are those dwarf okras that I planted, I guess it's been about 6 weeks now. You can tell just how well they're growing. I mean, look at that green, y'all. The problem is, I don't see any okras yet. Now, I know they're coming because of all that growth, but not a single okra yet. But that's really cool how well those things have grown. And I will be saving the seeds from these because I want to always have these growing. Right beside it are the watermelon plants. Still doing really well. These basils, y'all, are just completely out of control. But that's all right. Supposed to be watermelons back in here somewhere. Definitely have plenty of weeds. everywhere. Definitely a lot of weeds everywhere. Let's see if I can find that one watermelon that was here before I went on. Oh, right, there it is, right there. Little one still hanging. Doing okay. I don't see the other ones. But that's, oh, there's one right down there. If y'all can see it, let me, yep, right there. So I've got two. Now I did a couple shorts on those, and those are the silver Yamato. Silver Yamato. I'm sure I'm not saying that correctly. Watermelon. The flesh on the inside is not a red, it is a clear white, and very kind of like a pink, kind of like a yellowish white. Very, very good watermelon. And I'm not a super watermelon fan, but very good for sure. On over in here we got cantaloupes that are vining all the way over. Now I don't know how they're getting powdery mildew when it hasn't rained in, I don't know, 2 weeks, but it is what it is. I'm sure there's a cantaloupe in there somewhere that I haven't found, but I have a lot of work to do, y'all. There's so many weeds through this entire corner again. I need to trim up this rose bush again. For that pruning, I'm going to use the electric hand pruner that I showed y'all a week or so ago. That thing works great, highly recommend it. And if you're interested in that or any of the other stuff that I use in this garden, check out the Amazon store. The link is down below, or the individual links are also listed down below in the description. These pepper plants are doing well. You can see these are both this kind, lemon spice, but this one's been on here a bit too long. Nope, look at that, just came right off of my hand. Very good little jalapeno. And that right there, y'all, is sun scold. If you ever wonder exactly what that is, that's what you're looking for. That's just the sun baking this pepper. So this will be harvested soon. Another nice pepper right there. All in all, this bed was looking so bad yesterday until I watered, and now look at it. It's looking great. Tomato bed, look at that thing, y'all. It's so overrun with basil. Okay, so I always say plant basil, plant basil, plant basil. Well, I think this is an example of planting too much basil. Like, this is nuts. All right. A little update on the single seed challenge restart plant 2024. It's right here. This tomato plant that is just looking terrible. But seriously, look at all this basil. I mean, can we have any more basil? Good grief. Tomato plants. This one right here is actually putting on tomatoes. I am shocked. Considering this section of the garden gets that evening sun that just melts everything out here, I can't believe that plant put on tomatoes. I'm actually very shocked. But so my plan is that for this section, that way, I'm taking everything out and we're gonna start summer crops in here. Another bunch of okra, some green beans, things of that nature in this section. That's coming very soon. I need to get that going now that I'm back off of vacation. And then also, considering the way the garden looks, I'm gonna start putting up shade cloths everywhere. And again, a video on that will be coming out very soon also. Okay, so here's an example of what happens when you leave tomatoes on and they just go bad right there. I have another tomato right down in there. That one actually might be good. I'll have to harvest that here in a minute. I found an armyworm on these plants. It was like right in here last night. Wasn't looking for him, but when I saw it, it had to go. Killed it immediately. But look at these indeterminate tomato plants, y'all. They're all the way up over top of this tomato trellis. Crazy, crazy. Growing great, just not putting on any tomatoes because of the heat. If y'all are interested in these right here, these tomato hooks, check out the link down below and go get some. They are fantastic. Fantastic. All right, so not a lot to really show on the tomatoes there other than, hey, very, very green, tons of basil, really no fruit, which doesn't really make me happy, right? We want fruit. That's the whole reason we're out here gardening. But it's all good. We're gonna move over to the eggplant bed. Now, before I left, there were eggplants out here. I don't know what happened. I don't see them. Well, I see one, but I don't see the ones that I really like. And one thing about this bed, before I start showing y'all, I had 11 different types of eggplants in here. Now, I'm not just saying that to be like, hey, look at me, I got 11 different types of eggplants. No, I'm trying to see which ones I like the best, and then those will be the ones that I continue growing from here on out. Same with the tomatoes or anything else that's out here. I think you should absolutely always explore, experiment, plant everything you can, find the ones that you like, save those seeds, continue planting. The ones you don't like, hey, give those seeds to someone else. Maybe those seeds will be that person's favorite plant. You never know. Do seed swaps like me and Dell do over on Old Southern Kitchen and Garden. Trade out your seeds, see what you like, and go from there. But let me show you these this eggplant bed. Again, basil has kind of gone crazy. Okay, so this is the eggplant bed, and yes, I know the grass needs to be cut. But there's one eggplant right there. There's another small eggplant. There's another small eggplant right there. And there should have been some eggplants right in here that I'm just not seeing. But again, y'all, look at all this basil growth. It's nuts. And I got all this mint everywhere. Ugh, y'all know I hate mint. But talking about basil, come on over here. Look at this. Basil, basil, basil. Now, I planted a bunch of basil right in this section for a reason. Because I have these tomato plants growing. And these are the tomato plants for the hashtag Tomato Challenge 2024 between me and Brian over on Next Level Gardening / Little Homestead Big Dreams. And last week I was out there at his property, which I showed y'all, and he's going to win the challenge with a little tiny eggplant because these plants right here will not produce anything. The flowers that grow, which will then become tomatoes, the flowers, because of the heat here and whatever, I don't know, the sun is just cooking all the flowers off. So I don't know, but this plant's growing really well. It's just not producing. And look at the growth on this one plant that's over there. The other one, because I planted 2 of these tomato plants, is right here, and it's just looking terrible. I don't know what is going on with that one. But this one, y'all, seriously, I'm gonna have to trellis these things up really soon, get them supported. But look at that, look at that. It's just doing so well. Never mind that. So yeah, my plant is growing, it's just not producing. Or maybe there is a tomato in there somewhere and I just haven't found it. Let's just keep our fingers crossed for that. Okay, we're almost done, y'all. Got one more little section of the garden, and then we can call this a we can put a fork in this. But let me show you these tomato plants. Now, again, these are the 2 plants that I did where I was testing out Brian's recipe for how to pot cherry tomatoes, or how to plant cherry tomatoes in a pot. His recipe, y'all, which I'll put a link to that video up right here, is absolutely the one to go with. Even though mine did really well. But 8 days without watering these plants, plus I have a tomato hornworm, or I did, on this plant somewhere, because the evidence is right there. Let me show you. I have a lot of tomatoes to harvest. And I was going to harvest them last night, but I wanted to save all this for the video. But you can just see these have definitely been chewed on. I'm looking. I even came out here with a black light last night and did not see the hornworm anywhere. But lots of healthy tomatoes. There's probably a good 30 of them on here, maybe even more. But look at the damage done by a hornworm. Now, I did kill a hornworm here last week before I left. It was right here. But This damage did not, these plants did not look like this when I left. Peppers, so I have a lot of peppers everywhere. Some are doing great, some aren't. I think it's almost time to just go ahead and pull a bunch of these pepper plants out and start getting ready for fall plants. Maybe summer plants, but really fall plants, like winter squash. Start planting them now so they're ready in the winter. The pepper bed right here, these habanero plants are just little beasts. Look at all those habaneros on there. That makes me happy right there, y'all. Not that I'm gonna eat the habaneros, but I'll definitely give them away. Okay, as you can see behind me, as I'm looking everywhere else instead of the camera, we're gonna get into this section and then we're done. But let's start over here against the wall. You see how bad that looks? Okay, so Taiwanese long beans right there drying out here. These beans over here just went absolutely dead. All these marigolds are just looking terrible. We've got Chinese red long beans right back here, which you can see right there, something's been chewing on them. I'm sure it's a rat, so traps will start coming out again. But look at all these beans. It looked so good a week ago. One good thing is I have lots of beans to save for sure. Coming on down, these are the Indian, oh, there's one right there. The Indian snake cucumbers. There's another one right there. This looks so bad. I'm not happy. The container garden did not have any water for 8 days, so you could definitely see why they look like this. Totally. Citrus are doing really well back there. Lemons, limes, and the calamandan are just doing fine, but these figs look bad. And then that plant, that banana plant, last night, y'all, looked like death. And look how beautiful it is now. Just a little water. So yeah, I did not put in an irrigation. I did not expand my irrigation to all of this before I left, because the forecast showed there was going to be 2 to 3 days of rain, and no rain came. So that's on me. Totally own it. It is what it is. I will not make that mistake again. And looking at these beans, I definitely have a rodent problem. Just saw this. Look how bad these beans look, y'all. Seriously. You can tell something's been in here just chewing on everything. Destroying it all. Yeah, not happy. But I do have green beans. Check them out. Check them out. Green beans. Okay, I saw this last night and I just started smiling because last year I grew a lot of these. And I was having no success up to this point this year. Until now. Check it out. A very first Kahari melon of the year right there. Or Kajari. Not sure still how to pronounce that properly. But that will turn a beautiful orange like that when it's ripe. As soon as that thing even remotely starts to turn orange, you got to stay on top of it because it puts out an amazing citrus area. Because it will put out an amazing melon smell, which then brings everything in. Because you can smell those melons from feet away. It's nuts. Got a ramping Cotty zucchini that looks great up here and horrible right there. And then that one just totally died. Blossom end rot like I've never seen. That is really bad. But for the most part, these plants look really healthy. I mean, look at this one branching off completely. I mean, these leaves look great. Beautiful flowers are open. Everything just looking fantastic. Got a bee. Y'all, don't you just love bees in the garden? They just make me smile. I'm not gonna lie. I love to see bees in the garden. Okay, and we're pretty much done. Let me finish right here, and I will let you all go. Peppers. Now, I'm gonna come back to these in just 1 second. Oh, you know what? The next video is a taste test on these peppers. Let me show you these lemon. Let me show you these lemon drop peppers. Look at how well these things are growing. That is a completely ripe lemon drop pepper right there. I'll harvest these later today. These plants are just doing really well. I love growing peppers. That one I can actually eat. It was hot. And that video is coming out next, the very next video, that one will be coming out, which I think is on Saturday. Coming back to these peppers, these are supposed to be ghost peppers. Those do not look like ghost peppers. So I think Etsy sent me some bogus seeds. I mean, they're still pepper seeds, they're still growing, but those are not ghost peppers. At least, not a ghost pepper that I've ever seen looks like that. So, here's what it is. These shishito peppers are doing good. Again, I have to do a lot of harvesting. All of these pepper plants last night, y'all, looked like they were dead. And now look at them. Just a bunch of water. And these are cayenne peppers right here. Definitely ready to harvest. Looks like I'm starting to get some aphid issues right there. Maybe. Yep, definitely. Got these serrano peppers right here growing. And I'll finish with this. I know a lot of people probably don't like succulents. I love succulents. I love just how they look. A little different optic out here in the garden. The succulent garden actually is doing good. Now, in extreme heat like we're having here, those things have to be watered. Like I'd water them basically once a week, sometimes twice a week, just because of how hot it is here. But yeah. All right, everyone, so that's the garden tour for today, July 4th, 2024. And again, happy Independence Day to everybody out there. Y'all be safe, have fun barbecuing, spending time with friends and family. If y'all enjoyed this video, as always, do me a favor, share it, like, and subscribe to this channel if you've not done so already. If I have earned your subscription today, do me the favor, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell so you're always notified whenever I upload videos. As always, everyone, take care, God bless, continue to shine bright, harvest hard, get out in your garden, enjoy the fruits of your labor, all that sweat equity you put in. Get out here and just enjoy it. Even though it's hot, I'm sweating already. This is my happy place, y'all. Happy 4th of July. I'll talk to y'all again real soon.